No one tells you this when you go to prison. The cell isn't the hardest part. The silence isn't the hardest part. The hardest part is sitting across a plastic table, smiling at the people you love, knowing that in a few minutes, you'll have to let them walk away. In a UK prison, visits are meant to keep you connected to the outside world. They're supposed to help you cope, help you stay human. But for a lot of people inside, visits become the most painful part of the sentence. Because every visit reminds you of who you were, who you're becoming, and everything you're missing while life carries on without you. You don't realize how important visits are until you're waiting for one. Inside a UK prison, days blur into each other. Same doors, same smells, same routines. You stop measuring time by calendars and start measuring it by visits. One visit can carry you through weeks. Miss one, and everything feels heavier. Visit day starts early, earlier than usual. You wake up before bang-up, heart already moving faster than the wing. You wash properly, even if the water's cold. You put on your best clothes, the ones you save for moments like this, because this is the closest thing to normal you're getting. You don't say it out loud, but you're nervous. Even after years inside, visits still do that to you. Because this isn't just seeing someone you love. This is stepping halfway back into a world that moved on without you. The walk to visits feels longer than it should. You queue up, shuffle forward, joke with lads you barely talk to any other day. Everyone's pretending they're calm, but you can feel it. That tight feeling in the chest. The hope mixed with dread. And then you're inside the visits hall. Bright lights. Plastic chairs. Tables bolted to the floor. Kids' drawings on the wall like everything's meant to feel normal. It never does. Not really. You spot them before they spot you. Your mum. Your missus. Your kids if you're lucky enough. For a second, your brain forgets where you are. You smile without thinking. You stand up too quick. And then you remember. The officer watching. The rules. The distance you're allowed to keep. The way you're meant to act. You get one hug at the start, one at the end. Everything else has to stay inside you. That first hug is dangerous. It reminds your body what it feels like to be human again. It reminds you what you're missing. For a split second, the walls disappear. Then the chair scrapes back, and reality snaps into place. You sit down and try to be normal. You ask how everyone is. You nod a lot. You say you're fine, even when you're not. Because you don't want them worrying. They've already got enough to carry without your sentence weighing on them too. They tell you about work, about bills, about things breaking at home, about people you haven't seen in years, names you barely recognize anymore. Everyone's got a life, and none of it includes you the way it used to. Your kids have grown. You notice it straight away. New teeth, longer legs, different voices. You try to memorize their faces, because you know how fast they'll change again before the next visit. And then comes the worst part. The time. Visits fly by like someone's pressing fast forward. You're halfway through a sentence and the officer's already walking past, tapping his watch. 30 minutes gone. Then 40. Then the announcement comes over the speaker, calm as anything, telling you the visit's coming to an end. Your stomach drops every time. Because now you've got to do the hardest thing prison asks of you. You've got to say goodbye. Again. You see it on their faces too. The forced smiles. The way your mum squeezes your hand a bit tighter. The way your kids cling to you like they're trying to anchor you in place. And you can't. That last hug is brutal. It's not comfort. It's separation. It's knowing you're about to watch the people you love walk back into freedom while you turn and head deeper inside. You don't cry in front of them. Most don't. You save that for later. You wave. You smile. You tell them you love them. And then you let go. The walk back to the wing is quieter than the walk in. No jokes now. Everyone's in their own head. Visits don't lift the mood for long. They expose the gap between inside and outside. When your door closes after a visit, the cell feels smaller. The silence feels louder. You sit on your bunk replaying everything that was said, everything that wasn't. You wonder if you sounded different. If they noticed how prisons changed you. If you laughed too hard, or not enough. If your kids felt awkward around you. Visits don't just remind you of what you love. They remind you of what you're losing. Some lads stop taking visits altogether. Not because they don't care. Because it hurts too much. Watching your family struggle. Watching your kids grow up through plastic tables and short hugs. Being reminded, every time, that you can't help the way you used to. UK prison doesn't punish families officially, but it does it quietly. With travel costs. With waiting rooms. With searches and rules and long journeys for short moments. Your mum gets searched before she sees you. Your kids learn to sit still in plastic chairs. Your partner learns how to smile in public and cry in the car park. And you sit back in your cell knowing all of it is happening because of you. That guilt eats away at people faster than the sentence ever could. You start measuring your worth by how much damage your absence has caused. Missed birthdays. Missed funerals. Missed moments you can never get back. The worst visits are the honest ones. When your mum admits she's tired. When your partner says it's hard doing everything alone. When your kids stop asking when you're coming home because they've learned not to expect answers. Those conversations stay with you at night. They echo louder than any shout on the wing. After visits, some lads get angry. Some go quiet. Some self-destruct. Because visits rip open wounds you spend the rest of the week trying to keep closed. Prison teaches you how to cope by shutting down. Visits force you to feel again. And feeling, inside these walls, is dangerous. You notice changes too. Your partner's tone. Your kid's body language. The way people talk around you, careful not to upset you. Or worse, no longer careful at all. You realize life hasn't paused. It's adapted. And you're no longer central to it. That's when the fear creeps in. Not fear of prison. Fear of release. Because if this is what distance does, what happens when you're finally free but don't fit back in? UK prison visits are meant to maintain family ties. But they also show you how fragile those ties are under pressure. You watch relationships strain. You watch promises fade. You watch love change shape. And when a visit gets cancelled, weather, staff shortages, lockdowns, it feels like punishment stacked on top of punishment. No explanation. No apology. Just another reminder that nothing is guaranteed. Some days, a cancelled visit hurts more than a bad day on the wing ever could. Because at least on the wing, you expect nothing. Visits give you hope. And hope is dangerous in prison. When release finally comes closer, visits get heavier. Conversations turn serious. Plans get discussed. Expectations get raised. And deep down, you're terrified you won't live up to them. Because prison didn't just take your freedom. It froze you in time while everyone else kept growing. When people say UK prison is easy because it's quieter, they miss this part. The emotional grind. The slow erosion of relationships stretched thin by distance and years. The cell locks your body in. Visits remind your heart what it's missing. And when the door closes after a visit, that loss hits harder than any punishment handed down by a judge. Because prison can take your time. It can take your routine. It can take your freedom. But visits show you what it risks taking forever. Your place in the lives of the people you love. And that hurts more than the cell ever could. And even after the visit ends, it doesn't really end. It follows you back to the wing. Back to your cell. Back into the night. You lie there staring at the ceiling, replaying faces like scenes from a film you're scared you'll forget. The way your mum's hair's graying a bit more each time. The way your partner's smile doesn't quite reach their eyes anymore. The way your kids hesitate before hugging you, like they're not fully sure where you fit now. That hesitation cuts deep. Because prison teaches you one thing very clearly. You're replaceable. Life adjusts. People adapt. Systems move on without you. And visits are the proof. You start noticing gaps. Little ones at first. Someone stops coming every week. Then every month. Then only on special occasions. Excuses come easy. Work. Money. Travel. Stress. You don't blame them. You can't. But every missed visit feels like another quiet goodbye. Some lads pretend they don't care. Laugh it off. Say visits are long anyway. Say they're better off without the emotional stress. But you see it later, when the door shuts and the jokes stop. When the bravado fades and the cell feels heavier than usual. Others cling to visits like oxygen. Count down the days. Mark calendars. Build their whole week around that 1 hour of feeling human again. When it goes wrong, it breaks them. UK prison doesn't prepare you for that emotional swing. 1 minute you're laughing with your kids. The next you're locked behind steel, expected to just carry on like nothing happened. The system calls it rehabilitation. But no one talks about emotional whiplash. You learn to compartmentalize. You learn to shut bits of yourself off. You become two people, the one who survives prison and the one who belongs to your family. Visits force those two versions to sit at the same table. And that's uncomfortable. You catch yourself holding back, not saying too much, not promising things you're not sure you can deliver. Because prison teaches you how fragile plans are. You don't want to raise hope you might not live up to. Sometimes the visit ends badly. An argument, tension, things left unsaid. And that's worse than no visit at all. Because now you're locked in with guilt and no way to fix it. No phone call straight after. No popping round later. No chance to explain. Just time. Time to overthink. Time to regret. Time to sit with words you wish you'd swallowed. You learn quickly that prison doesn't just isolate you physically. It isolates you emotionally. You start feeling like a burden. Like your presence causes stress instead of comfort. Like everyone's better off when you're out of sight, out of mind. That mindset is dangerous. Because once someone starts believing they don't matter, they stop trying. Stop caring. Stop seeing a future worth working toward. And that's how prison quietly wins. Some visits are happy. Genuinely. Laughter. Jokes. Stories. For an hour, things almost feel normal. Those are the hardest ones to recover from. Because they remind you exactly what you're missing. You walk back to the wing with a smile that fades step by step. Each door closing behind you, stripping a layer of that happiness away. By the time you reach your cell, you're back where you started, except now you're carrying more weight. The longer you're inside, the more visits change. Conversations shift from daily life to survival. From dreams to logistics. From when you're home to if. That word hangs heavy. If. If you get parole. If things don't fall apart. If people are still there when the gate finally opens. UK prison doesn't just test prisoners. It tests relationships. And not everyone passes. Some families drift apart slowly. No drama. No shouting. Just fewer visits. Shorter conversations. Longer gaps. Until one day, they stop coming altogether. That silence is louder than any cell door. You sit there holding memories like evidence of a life you once had. Wondering where it went wrong. Wondering if it was always this fragile. And yet, when a visit does happen, when someone still shows up after years, it means everything. It keeps people going. Keeps them sane. Keeps them human. That's why visits hurt so much. Because they matter. They remind you that you're still loved, and that love has to survive distance, rules, time, and pain. UK prison isn't just about punishment. It's about separation. And visits sit right at the center of that separation. A bridge you're allowed to cross briefly, only to be pulled back every single time. You walk away from visits knowing one thing for certain. The cell might hold your body, but visits are where your heart does its time. UK prison isn't just made of walls and locked doors. It's made of distance. Distance between who you were and who you're trying to become. Distance between families, between moments, between lives that once touched every day. The cell takes your freedom. But visits show you what freedom actually costs. They remind you what you're fighting to get back to, and what time can quietly take away. If stories like this matter to you, if you want to hear the parts of prison life that rarely get talked about, subscribe to the channel. These aren't Hollywood stories. They're real experiences, told honestly. If this hit home, like the video, it helps more people hear these stories. And if you've lived this life, or know someone who has, leave a comment below. Your voice matters. More real UK prison stories are coming.